Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Rob. How are you?
How's it? How are you, everyone? I'm just putting my camera on. How's everyone? Everyone
fine,
well?
thank you. Yes, thank God.
Yeah,
Baruch
we
Hashem.
hear that. Good. Oh, here's Dr. Les with us. Dr.
Ah,
Les,
yes.
how are you? So nice to see you with us. How are you,
Hello,
Dr.?
Rob.
All good, Baruch Hashem.
Good, good. Hello, Marky. How's it? How are
Hello,
you?
Baruch Hashem, are you well?
Baruch Hashem. Yom, yom, yom.
Good.
To be safe. Bezrat Hashem, we'll be safe.
Amen.
We'll be okay. We have Dr. Les with us. So Dr. Les is going to give us some news from Eretz HaKodesh.
Okay, so you know that it's Rosh Hodesh Elul, and I know that you guys are mad about sport in South Africa. So here in Little Israel, we won 2 gold medals in the Tokyo Olympics, which is actually quite unbelievable. We actually beat Russia in the gymnastics, and the Russians are fuming. They're so upset because it's like, the most important thing for Russia, but we actually beat them. But more important, Rav, and I think this is so important, what happened in 1972 at the Munich Olympics when 11 Israeli soldiers were like murdered. So the relatives begged the Olympic Committee to have a minute silence, and they always turned them down. They always refused. But here in Tokyo, for the very first time in nearly 50 years, they allowed the 1 minute silence. So it was a good memory for for the neshamas, and may the memory be for eternal blessing. But Baruch Hashem, they persevered and did it. And it's a big deal. It's a very big deal.
Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. We also have a special guest with us. Dr. Les, give me 1 second. We have our friend, Monty Nussbaum. We all remember Monty Nussbaum, the patient member of our school. And he joined us, Baruch Hashem, and he joined us also for the show. So from now on, we're going to see more of Monty, more often.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Welcome, Monty.
Thank you very much.
Monty.
Welcome. How are you, Monty?
Very well indeed, thank God. And you guys?
Baruch Hashem, Mr. Munt.
Okay, I haven't heard your voice for quite a long time.
Lucky you.
No,
Can come and pester you, Monty. He's coming to pester you.
Okay.
Have you had the 3rd vaccine?
No, not yet. I'm hoping later this week still.
You must do it. I had it. It's really
Monty's
important.
too young.
Well, okay, thank you.
You have to be over 60. The cut-off date is 60.
Okay. Okay, guys, we're going to start with the show. I would like to take the opportunity, first of all, I'm going to mute everyone. And I will take the opportunity, first of all, to say to all of you, Rosh Hodesh Tov, to wish you all Rosh Hodesh Tov and Vorach. And a matter of fact, we're going to speak about Rosh Hodesh Elul. We're going to try to understand today why these especially 40 days that between Rosh Hodesh Elul until Yom Kippur. We're going to do gematriot. We're going to do a lot of special stuff, please God, and we'll try to explain everything regarding the name Elul, Be'ezrat Hashem. So we're going to start with Rosh Hodesh Elul. So I would like to wish all of you, Rosh Hodesh Tov U'Mvorach, and please God that we'll see only miracle on those special week. So I would like to dedicate the shiur לעילוי נשמת אסתר קדן בת קציה, מרדכי בן רחמה, הרב אברהם חיים בן אליעזר יעקב, תמר בת זהבה, רחל בת מלכה סולטנה, יעקב סלומון בן פרחה, דבורה רות בת בילה, וחיים אליהו בן ישעיהו. Please God that the shiur will be to uplift the neshama, and also לרפואה, for the רפואה of ליאורה בת מרים, מנשה נג'י בן פרחה, אורנה בלומה בת מרים, הרב אברהם בן מרימה, הרב שלמה יהודה בן דליה, הרב משה בן דבורה, מרדכי דוד בן לאה, משה בן יהודית, יוסף בן אסתר, חנה שרה בת דבורה, דבורה בת אסתר, שלמה פנחס בן שינה פישה, וחונה טוביה בן חיים שאול זלי, ושושנה בת דבורה. Please God, רפואה שלמה to them and to all חולי עמו ישראל בכל מקום שהם. As you all know, we are in the second day of Rosh Hodesh. Tonight is Aleph Elul. Tonight we start to say, as you all know, the poem number 27, Le David, Hashem, Uri v'Yish'i. We started from tonight. And Shabbos we read Parashat Re'eh that we spoke on Thursday night. And Parashat Re'eh, if you take the word Re'eh, it's Rashi Tevot, acronym, Resh Aleph Hey. What does it mean? Re'eh Elul Igia. Look, the month of Elul is already arriving. And today, Be'ezrat Hashem, we speak about the month of Elul. As you all know, HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us a gift. And what is the gift? Rosh Hodesh Elul. You're not going to believe. Many of you think that Rosh Hodesh Elul is a month that we blow the shofar. It's a month that we say slichot, but it's more than that. It's a month that we got a special gift from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because the month of Elul, it's a special month, that the heaven is open, as Hazal tell us. Not only that, Sha'arei Shamayim Ptuchim, that means that the heaven is open, V'hu Eit Ratzon. What it means, Eit Ratzon? It's a favorable time. That's how the Ari HaKadosh, Rabbi Yitzhak Luria Ashkenazi wrote. Rabbi Yitzhak Luria Ashkenazi wrote, born in Jerusalem 487 years ago, in Sha'ar Ruach HaKodesh, the Sefer Eitz HaChaim, Sha'ar Ruach HaKodesh, the Ari HaKadosh explained that, a matter of fact, the month of Elul is Eit Ratzon. It's a favorable time for the Jewish people. And what's happening here? And Ayom Be'ezrat Hashem will try to explain. We all know that the heaven is open during those 40 days. And what am I speaking about? From the months, from the beginning of Elul, from Rosh Chodesh Elul, until Yud B'Tishrei, that's Yom Kippur, there is 40 days. And those 40 days, it's a special thing for the Jewish people. The number 40 also mean a lot. We'll speak about it, and we're going to connect it, Be'ezrat Hashem. But before I start with that, I have to do introduction for the show to explain to you how do we get to those 40 days that we're speaking about from the beginning of the month of Elul, okay, from the Rosh Chodesh Elul until Yud B'Tishrei, that there is 40 days. So the history starts like this. We're going to speak now about Moshe Rabbeinu. Many of you think that Moshe Rabbeinu gone up to heaven only twice, but it's not. Moshe Rabbeinu gone to heaven 3 times, Rabotai. You have to understand that. And I'm going to give you now the history, and that will help us to understand. The first time that Moshe Rabbeinu gone up to heaven was on the day Vav Sivan, the 6th of Sivan, the same day that we received the Torah, in the year 2448 for the creation, on the same year that Bnei Israel left Egypt, the first year that they gone to the wilderness. Moshe Rabbeinu gone to heaven for 40 days. He left on the 6th of Sivan, and he came down on the 17th of Sivan. 17 of Tammuz, sorry, my mistake, gone for 40 days. So if you calculate from the 6th of Sivan until the 17th of Tammuz, you'll get 40 days. Okay, Moshe Rabbeinu gone up to heaven, and he received the first tablet. Moshe Rabbeinu coming down the mountain on 17th of Tammuz, and you all know he heard the noise, he heard the celebration of the golden calf. Moshe Rabbeinu, a matter of fact, broke the first tablet. He dropped them on the floor and he broke them. And Hazal say in the Midrash that Aaron and Shiv'im Skenim, that's mean Aaron HaKohen, his brother, and the 70 elderly try and run to hold it, but they couldn't stop it from breaking the first tablet. And what's happened then, the result of it, the letters that was on the first tablet flew up to heaven. And that's what caused us until today that it's difficult for us to remember the Limud Torah. The mystical rabbi explained that because Moshe Rabbeinu broke the first tablet and the letters flew up to heaven, like we explained last week, what happened from that? The result of that people don't remember what they're studying in the Torah. It's very difficult. Okay, the following day, on the 18th of Tammuz, just the following days, Moshe Rabbeinu going up to heaven again for the second time until Kaftet Be'av, until the 29th of Av, and Moshe Rabbeinu daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and plead to HaKadosh Baruch Hu to forgive the Jewish people for the sin of the golden calf. For 40 days, Moshe Rabbeinu davening and pleading to the Almighty to forgive the Jewish people for the sin of the golden calf, until HaKadosh Baruch Hu, until the Almighty said to him, go down to earth and engrave the second tablet. Moshe Rabbeinu coming down to earth, and underneath his tent, he find a special big rock. It's called Even San Piron, the sapphire stone, the sapphire, okay, and he engraved it. 2 days later, that means on the Aleph in Elul, on the Aleph in Elul, Moshe Rabbeinu going up to heaven again for the third time. And this time, he going for the last time, okay, from Aleph Elul until Yud Betishrei. He going up with his, and he take with him the tablet that he engraved the previous night, and he using now, listen to that, the 13th principle of mercy and compassion, okay, to plead to HaKadosh Baruch Hu to forgive the Jewish people. HaKadosh Baruch Hu then show him the architectural design of the tabernacle, okay, and how's it gonna look. During those 40 days that Moshe was in heaven, the Jewish people, the entire Jewish people, standing around the mountain of Sinai every night, davening and crying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, pleading to HaKadosh Baruch Hu to forgive them for the sin of the golden calf. Not only that, every morning, from the morning to the night, 12 hours fast, the Jewish people fasting for 40 days. That will help you to understand where our cousin took that custom to fast during the day and to eat at night. So the Jewish people fast during the day and eat at night for 40 days and 40 nights. And that's what caused HaKadosh Baruch Hu to giving us that 40 days that become Et Ratzon, favorable time. Therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu say in the end of the 40 days, Salahti ki dvarecha. What it means, Salahti ki dvarecha? I forgive that nation because you daven for them, you ask me to forgive the nation, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu accepted. Those ways come the 40 days that HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us a gift, that it's called Rosh Hodesh Elul ad Yud Tishrei, that's Yom Kippurim. That's where we got it. Now we understand. The history helped us to understand. But we have to understand what is Elul. As you all know, Ani ledodi vedodi li. You all know the famous sentence that comes from Shir HaShirim, the book of Shir HaShirim, in chapter 6, verse 3, Ani ledodi vedodi li haro'a b'shoshanim. What does it mean? I'm for my beloved, and my beloved to me, and it's speaking about the rose. Remember the rose, we'll get to it later on, and what does it have to do? We all know that Ani ledodi vedodi li, the acronym of those words, will give us the name Elul. But if we look deeply at that fourth sentence that we mentioned, Ani ledodi vedodi li, the end of every word end up with the letters Yud. The gematria of Yud is 10. 4 times 10, 40. That's come to tell us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, matter of fact, have a mercy and compassion on us and given us a special present. What is it? a special favorite time, 40 days that we can daven, that if we want to work on ourselves, we want to cleanse our neshama, we want to correct our deeds, we have 40 days. Ari HaKadosh again explained that, a matter of fact, that we have to understand that in a contrary, he explained that there is 13 character of mercy, okay? 13 midot shel rahamim, 13 character principle of mercy. And he explained that, a matter of fact, when Moshe Rabbeinu gone up to heaven, he used it. But we have to understand that those 40 days, they have a big secret to them. And those secret awards, the 40 se'ah. Se'ah, it's a measure, it's a quantity of volume of water, of liquid. Where do we have 40 se'ah in a mikveh? When someone want to cleanse himself, want to pure himself, they go to the mikveh. A man doesn't have obligation from the Torah. A woman have, during her time, after her cycle, she obligated to go, after she counts 7 clean days, she has to go to a mikvah. When we say a mikvah, maim haim. What it means, maim haim? Maim haim, it's a rainwater or a water from the Nile or from a river that's flowing, or the sea. It has to have 40 se'ah. How much is 40 se'ah, Rabotai? We're going to explain now. There is a different opinion in the Mefarshim. According to Rabbi Haim Nair, Rabbi Haim Nair was a very famous Lubavitch rabbi, and he said that it's 332 liter. That's 40 se'ah. The volume of 40 se'ah, it's 332 liter. He's the most lenient opinion. According to the Hazon Ish, it's 648 liter. Lehalacha, what we do today, every mikvah, kosher mikvah, must have 1,000 liter of water minimum. Why? That we don't have any sfekot. That's how we do it. That's how we keep the mikvah in Glenazel. I make sure, a matter of fact, there I make sure that I have 3,000 water, because I have two treasure. And inside the mikvah, we have more than 1,000 liter. We have 1,200 liter. But anyway, that's beside the point. So where is that 40 come? We explain where is it come, the 40 days that Moshe Rabbeinu was up in heaven. Towards the last time that Moshe Rabbeinu, when he came down from the mountain, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw that Bnei Israel actually davening and asking for forgiveness. Not only that, they're fasting during the day, and at night, they're only eating. Okay, so we found the 40 days, but why Dafka 40 days? So we have to understand what's happening here. The number 40 is not just another number. There is 40 yom lavalad, 40 days before the baby actually form. You know, the shape of the body of the baby actually get formed. The number 40 appealed many times, 40 years in the wilderness, 40 days that the flood came. Many times in the Torah mentioned the word 40. 40 years that the Jewish people was in a wilderness, for 40 years that there was in a wilderness. But what is the secret behind it? So we say that every mikvah have to have 40 se'ah. And we explain that se'ah, a matter of fact, the volume of se'ah is 24 logim, 24 log. That means if you take how much is it a se'ah, you work it out, you divide it according to the 3 opinions that we brought, okay? But what is the number 40 represent to us? So on a pshat of the dvarim, it's come to represent to us that that the same like a person get pure and cleanse himself when he go into the mikvah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us a gift of 40 days of Elul, that we can work ourselves, that we can do correction of the deeds, we can cleanse our neshama, we can prepare ourselves to the judgment day. Not only that, we have to understand what's happening here. We have to understand that there is something very important. We know that if we take every log every se'ah, there is 24 logim, another measurement. If we take every day, we have how much? 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day, multiplied by the 40 days. For those of you that they quick with maths, will get 960 hours, correction, 960 hours. That means for the 40 days between Rosh Hodesh Elul until Yud Bet Tishrei, we have 40 days multiplied by 24 hours, we'll get 960 hours. What does it mean? That inside the mikveh, Hazal tell us if you work how many logim there's also 940. That means Hazal come and tell us that the number 40 that have to be in a mikveh, it's 40 se'ah, but it also have to be 40 logim to tell us that those days that we got 40 days is a day that the person can correct its deeds, to do tshuva, to cleanse his soul, to cleanse himself from all the averot that he done. Why? Because those 40 days that we got, it's a special day that we call them Ait Ratzon, Yemei Ratzon, Ait Yemei Ratzon. What it means, Ait Yemei Ratzon? It's a very, very, very favorable time. Now listen to that. Hazal tell us that on those days, the 40 days, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, every day, coming out from his place, Kiviyachol, and coming down to earth. That means leaving the heaven and coming to earth and coming closer to us until Sha'at Ne'ilah. The Ne'ilah time that we daven on Yom Kippur is basically with us. HaKadosh Baruch Hu basically sitting with us b'Sha'at Ne'ilah. In a time of Ne'ilah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu's with us. Can you believe it? After Ne'ilah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu go up to his place. That's it. That means that the beginning of the 40 days starts from tonight. From tonight, HaKadosh Baruch Hu come close to us. Every day, he's going to come closer and closer to us. And that's the secret of the 40 days. That's the present that we got. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with us. And what we say, Ani ledodi vedodi li, I'm to my beloved and my beloved to me. What is it? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu coming to be with us. And now it's time for us to be with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But a human being can be close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu only if he cleanses himself, only if he corrects his deeds, only if he done tshuva. That means that he worked on himself and decided to leave the averot behind and to open a new page to come closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay, so now we understand what is those 40 days. We have a custom. There is a custom during those days to say a Mizmor Tehillim. Mizmor Tehillim, it means the poem number 27 in Tehillim. And there it says something very interesting. LeDavid Adonai Ori V'Yish'i. We have to say it one in the morning, one in the night, before Minha, after Minha. Sorry, after Ma'ariv. What is the Hidush here? What is the Hidush behind all of it that we say twice? And why Dafka this Mizmor? Why did we saying Dafka this more and not any other poem that we have? But before we continue, I would like to give some of you time if you have any question regarding the number 40, and I'll have a bit of a sip of my tea, so I'll get my voice back. So if there is any question, please unmute yourself and ask, and I can try and answer. Okay, no question, we'll continue with the show. So we say one of the customs that we have during the months of Elul, from the beginning of the months of Elul until Hoshana Rabbah, you all know, is to say every morning and every evening after Ma'ariv, LeDavid Hashem Ori V'Yish'i. we have to understand why dafka that poem Hazal constitute for us. So first of all, we have to understand that. So to understand that, it's brought in Midrash Shoher Tov. Midrash Shoher Tov is a midrash that explained the book of Tehillim. And he explained on poem number 27, it said there, Uri, le David Hashem Uri. What it mean, Uri? Malait. When is Malait? Hazal say that's in Rosh Hashanah. That means that we're talking here, David HaMelech told us that our light, when is it? In Rosh Hashanah. Yish'i. What it means, Yish'i, my salvation? Okay, that's in Yom Kippur. Ki yatzpineni besukkah. That means that here is referring for the festival of Sukkot. So Hazal say in a midrash, because on this verse he speak about the three festivals that we soon gonna, please God, celebrate Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot. That's why we're saying it. But the Gaon Hida, Rabbi Haim Yosef David Azulai, he born in Jerusalem 297. He bring a different idea. And he say a bit more on a depth. He go always to depths, the Gaon Hida. The Gaon Hida, I'll tell you a story about him. It's good to know a bit about the commentary that we speak. The Gaon Hida born in the city of Jerusalem. And when he born premature. And when he born, they saw that there was thing that he's not alive. And he born on Shabbat. So on Shabbat, you can't bury a baby. They wrapped him and they put him aside. When his granny come and she asked, where's the baby? Everyone didn't comment. She understood that something wrong. And she asked, where's the baby? So they looked at the corner of the house and she saw the baby. Immediately, she took water on Shabbat. She boiled water. Because they was thinking that the baby is dead. Why? Because it didn't have, they couldn't feel his heartbeat. She immediately boiled water on Shabbat. And she took them and she nursed them and she massaged him until they start feeling that he had the heartbeat and the pulse coming back. And the Gaon Hida say, I wouldn't be alive without my granny. That's the story about the Gaon Hida. There's many stories about him, how great he was. So the Gaon Hida explained like this. He said that, you know how many times the name of the Almighty, the holy name, Shem Havaya, Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, mentioned in that poem? He said that there is the name of the Almighty Shem Havaya mentioned on that poem 13 times. And we know that Shem Havaya, it's Shem Shel Rahamim. What it means, Shem Shel Rahamim? The name of mercy. When we say Adnut, we're referring to mercy and compassion, the name of mercy and compassion to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Said the Gaon Hida, you know why you're saying it? That every time that we saying Le David Hashem Uri V'Yishai, okay, that poem, we actually, what we're doing, we opening a channel of mercy and compassion during those days on us. The minhag of the Sfaradim, it's a minhag, not all the Sfaradim follow it, that after every day, after Alenu Leshabeach, they say that Mizmor, they say that poem. But the main reason that we're saying it during those 40 days, between Rosh Hodesh Elul to Yom Kippur, explain the Gaon Hida, because we want HaKadosh Baruch Hu to judge us favorably, to have mercy and compassion on us. So how do we wake up HaKadosh Baruch Hu to judge us favorably? By that we're opening those 13 principles that we mentioned, the 13 principles of mercy and compassion that there is inside this poem. And how does it work? that his name, the holy name of the Almighty, mentioned in that poem 13 times. Okay, so now we understand also why do we say that poem of Tehillim, LeDavid Hashem Uri Veish'i. Okay, there is another custom that we blow the shofar from Rosh Hodesh Elul. That's mainly the Ashkenaz doing it, although the Sfaradim doing it on Slichot. Why? Because the Sfaradim from Tuesday morning, starting Slichot, straight after Rosh Hodesh Elul, the Sfaradim starting for 40 days, about the noise, for 40 days, they start saying Slichot. Where is that custom come to blow the shofar? We know that the first time that Moshe Rabbeinu gone up to heaven to bring the first tablet, what happened? When he came down, he saw that the nation, and the Zohar HaKadosh, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai explained in the Zohar, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai explained in the Zohar, wherever the word nation mentioned is referring to the multi-nation that came out with the Jewish people from Egypt. Okay, so he says that the nation make the golden calf, and we know that Moshe Rabbeinu broke the tablets. But the third time that Moshe Rabbeinu gone up to heaven, the Jewish people were so worried that Has v'Shalom, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu not going to forgive the Jewish people. And from the moment that Moshe Rabbeinu gone up to heaven, they start blowing the shofar every day. And that's to declare every day, so they have to count 40 days, not to make a mistake like they make in the first time. So, said the Rama, Rabbi Moshe Isherlich, that born in the city of Krakow in Poland in the 16th century, he explained like this, that when Bnei Israel blow the shofar, HaKadosh Baruch Hu got such nachas, have so much nachas from it, that they're counting and preparing themselves to cleanse themselves towards Big Yom Kippur. You have so much nachas. That's what's been constituted as a minhag, that they should continue every Rosh Hodesh Elul to blow the shofar. Why? To remind the Jewish people that now it's the time to do tshuva, to do atonement, to correct the deed, to work on themselves, to cleanse themselves for all the sin and the averot. So that's why we blow the shofar from Rosh Hodesh Elul. Now you know why we blow the shofar. Okay. Now, what is the remedy behind saying that poem of Tehillim that we mentioned, the David, Hashem, Uri Veish'i? There is many segulot behind it. I'm going to bring few, Be'ezrat Hashem, and then in the end, I'll bring another segula, another remedy, that it's good for people. I don't know how many of you are going to take it, but it's very good. So the first one that I'm going to bring is Rabbi Yaakov Rakah. Rabbi Yaakov Rakah, born in the city of Tripoli in Libya, 221 years ago, and he wrote a book, Sha'arei Tefillah. And in his book, Sha'arei Tefillah, he explained like this. And he said, Kol ha'omer mizmor kaf zayin. That means every person that said the poem number 27, LaHashem Uri Veish'i, LeDavid Hashem Uri Veish'i, okay, mirosh Hodesh Elul ad ahar Simchat Torah, from the beginning of the month of Elul until after Simchat Torah, okay. Afilu gzera ra'a netuna alav, even if we have a bad decree from heaven on him, okay, yechol levatla, he can cancel it. U'ma'avir me'alav, that means every bad decree that he have on himself, he can change. Every bad gezerot, that means any kind of judgment that there is against him, if he said twice a day, from Rosh Hodesh Elul, that means from tonight until Hoshana Rabbah, every day, twice a day, once in the morning, once after Mariv, LeDavid Hashem Ori v'Yishai, he can change his decree. And he guarantee him, it's not the end, and he guarantee, that means that he fulfill the days and the years that he been, from the day that he born. Rabbi Yaakov Rakach guarantee him that if he say that poem of Tehillim twice a day, listen to that, he will never die before his time. Not only that, he will live a good life. That's Rabbi Yaakov Rakach. Ari HaKadosh, Rabbi Yitzhak Luria Ashkenazi, he says that it's a remedy to say it morning at night, and a person that say it morning at night, now the Ari HaKadosh, it's a promise from Ari HaKadosh. Listen what he said, that Shemotzi Shnatav V'Yamav Batov. That means that the person that say it twice, number one, he cancel all the decree. There's no question about it. Not only that, that I guarantee him, that's the Ari HaKadosh, that nothing harm gonna happen to him. And even if there is a bad decree on him, he can change it during those 40 days. Now, I want to stop here and to explain. Some people find that they find difficulty in their business. Whatever they touch, whatever they do, nothing's work. Everything, they get into the final, they just can't finalize nothing. Nothing that can finalize. No business can finalize. Here is the remedy that guaranteed by Rabbi Yaakov Rakach, by Ari HaKadosh, that if you say, LeDavid Hashem Ori v'Yishai, twice a day from Rosh Hodesh Elul until Hoshana Rabbah, you can change all the decree. Even if there is a bad decree on it. Now we spoke about the rose, because we said that poem, LeDavid Hashem Ori v'Yishai. And at the beginning we brought Ani LeDodi v'Dodi Li. Remember, that's a poem in, it's a verse from Shir HaShirim. Ani LeDodi v'Dodi Li Ro'a b'Shoshanim. What does it mean, Ro'a b'Shoshanim? That it's speaking about the love between us and the Almighty. The book of Shir HaShirim, we done already once commentary about it, we spoke about it. It's the story of a husband and a wife, Kivyachol. When the husband is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when the wife is the Jewish people, comparable. And there it say, and it speak about the love between the husband and the wife, the love that HaKadosh Baruch Hu have for the Jewish people, and the love that the Jewish people have for the Almighty. And there it's mentioned on that thing, the word Ro'a b'Shoshanim. What does it mean? Speaking about the rose. Said the Ari HaKadosh. It say every rose there is 13 petals, and every rose, if you peel it, you'll find that there is 13 petals. He said that in this chapter, in that poem of Tehillim, the name of the Almighty mentioned 13 times, and we mentioned that that's awards the 13 principle of mercy and compassion. Say Ari HaKadosh, every time that we mention the name of the Almighty on that poem, and we mention it 13 times, a person actually open a line of mercy and compassion on him. That means there is a special direct line of compassion and mercy that channel to him, and we open it. I'm trying to explain the word of the Ari HaKadosh exactly word by word. I don't want to change. What does it mean? There is a tube that's full of mercy and compassion on that line. And every time that we mention the name of the Almighty, Shem Havaya, that mentioned in poem 27, during those 40 days, we actually opening the mercy and compassion, and that mercy and compassion push away all the decree. And that's the secret of saying, LeDavid Hashem Uri v'Yishrei. The Gaon Hida bring us a different remedy. The Gaon Hida come and tell us in his book More Be'etzva in chapter 36, he said that it's a remedy for all year round to say that poem of Tehillim, number 27. That it's a remedy for protection and successful. If you want to be protected, if you want a successful, okay, say that poem of Tehillim. No harm can happen to you all year around. That means people looking something to fight Corona. Here's the remedy all year around. Now, I want to move to another remedy, nothing to do with that. I saw it in the name of the mystical rabbi, and I saw it in the name of our holy rabbis. And they say like this: a person that reads Tikkunei Zohar. What is Tikkunei Zohar? The book of the Zohar, you all know. There is another book that's called Tikkunei Zohar. What is Tikkunei Zohar? It's a different commentary that there is there 70 drashot only on the word Bereshit, on the first word of Sefer Bereshit that called Bereshit. That means there is there different explanation about what does it mean Bereshit. And if you look deeper, but I don't suggest that because I don't think that we are ready to study. So just to read the Aramaic, even if you don't understand, even if you make mistake with your reading, there is a remedy during those 40 days to finish the book of Tikkunei Zohar. Okay, that will help, said the mystical rabbi, that person that will read it from Rosh Hodesh Elul until Hoshana Rabbah, he merit to rectify it and to cleanse his soul. What does it mean? I don't know. I'm just like a parrot reading. So when you read Tikkunei Zohar, what it means Tikkunei Zohar, it's a different explanation that it speaks about the word Bereshit, just about the letters Bereshit. That's all. The sentence Bereshit, nothing more than that. One word Bereshit, there is full books about it. There, if you read with a commentary, but I don't suggest for you to read it, it's not for us to read. By reading it, even that we don't understand what we're reading, even if we make a mistake, Rabotai, nothing wrong, because it's Aramaic. You cleanse yourself. You can read it at night, because reading Zohar at night cleanses the neshama. So we see from here that the Zohar tells us that if you read it, you can cleanse yourself. How did he come to it? How did Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai go to it? The book of Tikkunei Zohar starts like this. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. It says Rabbi Shimon. It starts like this. Rabbi Shimon, Azal, no, Rabbi Shimon, Arakle ve'azal lemidbara delud. Say the mystical rabbi and our holy rabbi, say if you take the word arak le ve'azal lemidbara, you'll get acronym Elul. Aleph de arak, le lamed, ve'azal. It's me, I will translate now, Vav, lemidbara to lamed. What it means, arak le ve'azal le lemidbara delud. Arak is Rabbi Shimon, when it was a decree by the Roman, he ran away and gone where? To the desert that called Lud, to the city that called Lud. They call it desert midbara de Lud. Okay, so Hazal explained that when it was a decree on Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, what is he done? He ran away and he gone to the desert that called Lud. the acronym of Harakle ve'azal lemidbara, Elul. From here we learn that the person that reads Tikkunei HaZohar doesn't have to understand a word what he's saying. Listen to that. You don't have to understand, and don't try to understand. Even if you make mistake by reading the Aramaic, it's fine. It's fine. I say it, it's fine. It's considered like you cleansing yourself, your neshama, and you're rectifying your neshama. So look what the Kadosh Baruch Hu given us for the month of Elul. What a great present. Not only that, the mystical rabbi tell us it's a city, the month of Elul, it's a city of refuge. The same, lehavdil. What is a city of refuge? A city of refuge, Hazal explained to us in the Torah, it's a city that the Torah explained to us, and Hazal gone in depth and explained that when a person kills someone by mistake, not on purpose, by mistake, and he been found that he didn't done it on purpose, and he was an enemy of that person that he killed, there is a city of refuge. There is 6 cities of refuge, 3 in the land of Eretz Israel, and 3 outside the Jordan Valley. You have to flee to those cities of refuge, and then the relative of the person of the deceased not allowed to harm him until the Kohen Gadol die, and then he go freely. That's on Pshat of the Dvarim. Pshat of the Dvarim. Come the mystical rabbi and tell us that those 40 days that HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us, it's like a city of refuge. On those 40 days, a person like going to the city of refuge. You done averot. Person done averot. Person done sin. He doesn't even know that he done sin. Those 40 days is like a city of refuge that can save us. It's those days. It's like a day of salvation for us. That's day of salvation to the neshama of a person. Not only that, the person can correct these and cleanse himself from all of those averot. That means the months from Rosh Hodesh Elul until Yom Kippur, HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us a great present. What is the present? That we can work and we correct our deeds, work on all what we done. Sorry. Can work on all what we done in the past, and we correct our deeds, and the most important, we can cleanse our neshama. And now that we understand a little bit about the importance of the months of Elul, the power that there is on those 40 days that we can correct our deeds, we can cleanse our neshama, we can work on ourselves those 40 days. And the great gift that HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us during the months of Elul until Yud B'Tishrei, that's Yom Kippur, that it's a month of mercy and compassion. So Be'ezrat Hashem, that we should all merit to cleanse ourselves, to correct our deeds, to work on our soul, to uplift ourselves during those days. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please God, will write us and will seal us, all the Jewish people all over the world, in a book of good life and a brocha. שיכתבנו ויחתימנו לחיים טובים ולשלום. Be'ezrat Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will write us and seal us for good life and a blessing life. And then Be'ezrat Hashem will merit to see the Mashiach and the building of our Beit HaMikdash speedily in our day. Amen ken yeh ratzon. Now I'm going to give time for those of you that want to ask questions. If you have any question,
Rav
please.
Dov. Rabbi Levy.
Ken, bechavod. Sorry, I'm just drinking. My throat is very dry.
Rabbi Levy, one question.
Bechavod.
You're saying that Tehillim number 27, you should say
Yes.
it every night and every morning. But as far as I understand...
By the way, Adrian, by the way, we start tonight. If you didn't say it, you still have a chance to say it tonight. Yes.
Say that. My question is, are you not, as far as I know, you're not supposed to say Tehillim between after Ma'ariv until midnight. There should be no Tehillim.
Nachon.
How do you then say David Bori?
Very good question. Very good question. Chazal tell us that at night, from the moment that the star come out, we're not allowed to touch Tanakh, Torah, Nevi'im, Ketuvim. And the Tehillim is part of the Ketuvim. Nachon? Torah, speaking about the written Torah. Okay? Torah, Nevi'im, all the prophet and Ketuvim. Okay. How can we say it? There is a special leniency that after darkness, okay, you can say it. Why? Because during those special days, this pasuk, this verse, this poem, this chapter 27, it's actually reflecting all the mercy of the compassion, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't allow the evil forces to touch us.
But where's the source of that?
Where is the source?
That this is an exception.
That's not only the exception, there's many other exceptions. The Sfaradim say every night after they say the Kaddish of Ma'ariv, okay, what did they say there? No? LeDavid, לא LeDavid, שיר למעלות. They say שיר למעלות. אשא עיניי להרים. Why? Because there is certain mizmorim, certain poems that Hazal constitute for us that you can say it at night because they're individual. And it's not like you're reading all Sefer Tehillim. When you read all the book of Tehillim, then you have a problem. You understand? It's like when we learn Parshat HaShavua, I don't read all the book. I read certain verse, and that's it. You understand what I'm saying? We don't read all the parsha. So there is no power for the mezikim. You know what is it, mezikim? The evil forces to harm us. You follow?
Okay, thank you.
Leisure. Any other question, Rabotai, regarding the month of Elul or regarding the idea that we brought that Moshe Rabbeinu was up in heaven for 3 times, if you want to ask the history, or regarding what we spoke about, LeDavid, Hashem, Ori v'Yishri, or the remedies, if you have any question. Bechavod.
The Rabbi says the king is in the field. What are they referring to the month of Elul? It's going to see Hashem this month.
The king is in the field. So you joined late for the show, but for you, then I repeat.
Yeah.
Say that during those 40 days, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, every day coming closer and closer, coming down to earth. What it means, HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the field? Hazal given us an analogy that HaKadosh Baruch Hu actually coming closer to us. His desire to hear our davening to him. His desire to see that we're doing tshuva. That means he wants us to cleanse ourselves, that when the big day comes, the judgment day comes, you're going to find us under. You understand? So
Preparation.
he wants us to come closer to him. You follow?
Okay, preparation.
That's it. That's what it says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the field. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kiviyachol, leave his chair of glory in heaven and coming down to earth to join his. You want to be with children. To help us to come closer to him, to cleanse ourselves, to do tshuva, to work on our deeds. So that's Dafka on those 40 days, get 40 days that they call them Yemei Rahamim. What does it mean, Yemei Rahamim? Day of mercy and compassion. Not only that, the Yemei Ratzon. What does it mean? A day that there is a favorite time. It's a very favorable time for the Jewish people. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu listened to each one of us. Not only that he listened, HaKadosh Baruch Hu know when a person really want to do tshuva from his heart, he will help him. Chazal say in the Gemara, Pithu li petach kechudoshe maha. It's open for me
And you know,
a space the size of a pin, and I will open for you
yeah,
an opening the size of the
Mm.
hole. First, we have to do the first step. The rest, leave it to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And those 40 days, those are the days that HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the field. He will help us. Yeshar koach, Stephen, for the question. Yeshar koach.
thank you.
Another question
Christopher.
regarding Elul, maybe I missed something. If you want to ask, Be'ezrat Hashem, I'll try to go through different things during the months, Be'ezrat Hashem, to explain more, to get more in depth. But that was the introduction to the months of Elul. Why Dafka 40 we have? It's the same like 40 se'ah that there is in a mikvah, that there is the 332 liter, according to Rabbi Chaim Naeh, according to Hazon Ish, 648 liter that there is in a mikvah, that it's 40 se'ah, it's equivalent to a measure of 40 se'ah, that when a person go to the mikvah, he can cleanse himself, he can pure himself. Those 40 days that we can work on ourselves, that we can pure ourselves, we can cleanse ourselves. And that's where the number 40 come. How important is the number 40? And then we explain the idea of saying Le David, Hashem, Uri v'Yish'i. And then we explain also the secret that we have behind the word Elul that came from Shir HaShirim, the book of Shir HaShirim, Ani ledodi v'dodi li ha'ro'a b'shoshanim. That means that it's referring to a rose, that in a rose there is 13 petals, remember that? And that's to wake up the 13 principle of mercy, of mercy and compassion that HaKadosh Baruch Hu have. By that we're mentioning that poem, we actually, every time that we're mentioning that name of the Almighty, we're actually waking up the mercy and compassion on the Jewish people. If there is any question, I'm here. If not, I would like to wish you a beautiful night.
Hodesh Tov.
There are three.
Hodesh Tov, and thank you.
Thank you.
Any question?
Excellent.
Sorry, any
Rob,
question?
I think there's three other times where there's an acronym of Elul through the Torah, not just the Dodi.
Yeah, but that's
They
in the
refer
Torah.
back to Elul.
Yes.
You always concentrate on the one, but the others have very nice
It's really
implications.
feeling
too.
better, lots.
We always go back to the one.
I referred only to one. I will get to him also, please God, during the months. I will speak about the other places. Yes, Be'ezrat Hashem. Yeah. Okay, Ivan?
Rob.
Thank
you, Rob.
Rob. Thank
Wish
you very much.
This is in memory of my mom.
coming
Big
Thursday.
deal. I can at least say thank you.
Once again, thank
Very
you
big
to
deal.
Monty. Thank you for Dr.
Every
Les.
week.
Thank one of you individually that join us.
Oh,
Have a
so
good-
we have to work out what we're going to do with this. Not so simple, hey?